Hello, this is Tom with a video explaining Speed Unscramble. So the whole idea of this activity is to automate word order. If I'm speaking English fluently, or any language fluently, I'm not thinking about, okay, what's first here, it's a question word, and then it has to be automatic. Now, you can test this on your students. Take their native language, take a sentence in their native language, and completely rearrange the words. Completely rearrange the words. And ask them, do you understand what this says? What does this say right here? And they will automatically, without even really thinking about it, maybe after a few seconds just say, oh yeah, this is what you mean. That internal understanding of word order and what the sentence should look like, or what the question should look like, is what we want for them in English as well. It should be reflexive, not a thoughtful, logical process. We want word order to be just understood. Now, as with any activity, we want to have clear progress and repetition. Clear progress and repetition with the students. And it needs to be a challenge. P2 activities, automate activities that push the students towards reflexive use of the language needs to be a challenge, but we always start slow. We always start slow to ensure that they're being accurate before they rise to this challenge. So this Speed Unscramble activity goes through several steps. First, they just unscramble it. So we have the scrambled sentence here, I have right here, A0 to A1. Speed Unscramble, it's a tense review, so lots of different tenses. We have swim you can, so I write can you swim. First, unscramble all the sentences or the questions on this side. Then check it as a class. Then after that, here's the challenge. First, always you start slow. Students fold the paper along the line so that they cannot see their answers. They can only see the questions that are still scrambled. So, I can hold it like this and my partner can see the answers, and I try to read through these slowly from number 1. Can you swim? I am working. We are studying English. He is German. They have a cat. So I'm only looking at the scrambled sentences, but my partner is telling me if I'm correct every time. And my partner corrects me if I'm incorrect. So first, we do that as with partners, and then we switch partners so that my partner reads the sentences, and then I check to see that they're correct. Then comes the challenge. Now, Speed Unscramble is a countdown. You give the students a time limit to see how many sentences, in this case 1 to 8, they can do within that time limit. So, for example, if you think students will finish easily within 20 seconds, make it 10 seconds. Make it 12 seconds. Because it needs to be a challenge. If they get all 10 the first time, it's not a valuable challenge. It's too easy. So here's what we go for. If we say, if you have beginner students who are pretty good about this, you want to give them, let's say, 15 seconds. So ready, set, go. Countdown with your timer. We got, can you swim? I'm working. We are studying English. He is German. One student goes through it, as many as possible, during that 15 seconds, while the other student checks. The other student checks and stops the partner if that partner is incorrect. So then we record the times. We record the number of sentences they got through on the board. So let's say for me, I got through 5 sentences. Now, then we always want to set a goal. We always need a goal right here. Now, I'll put my goal as 8. And as with all P2 or automate activities, a goal needs to be difficult. If I got 5 the first time, and then you say, okay, now get 6. And I get 6, it's not that special. That's not that much of a difference. If you say 5.5 next time, even worse. But if I got 5 the first time, you say, okay, next time I want to see 10. That's too difficult. So, the goal, as a general rule, is something that they should not get the first time. They shouldn't achieve their goal the first try. So, this first time I get 8. The second time, maybe I get 6. The third time, I get 7.5. Then maybe the fourth time only, I get 8. But this repetition happens in a very short amount of time. It's 15 seconds total. As a teacher, I have complete control over how long it takes. I can set these goals, and the students are motivated to repeat. And they're repeating these things. They always start from number 1. And it's not about originality. It's about moving the words in the correct order so that that order becomes more and more natural for them. But it's because if you think about it, that's why it works so well to be surrounded by a language if you visit a country. If I could send all my students to go live in America for 4 months, they're going to hear this sort of thing all the time if they immerse themselves. You can hide away in your dormitory or apartment, but if you go out and you immerse yourself in the language, you see it all the time, you hear it all the time, it becomes more and more natural, the word order. We don't have that luxury a lot of the time, particularly in the classroom. So in the classroom, we want to give them as much exposure and focused exposure to that language, where they pay attention to what they're doing. And this is a way to do that. That's the point of a P2 or automate activity, and that is how you run Speed Unscramble. First, write it. Fold it, check with your partner slowly. Then you check your partner slowly. Then we set a time limit. We get a first result. Then we set a goal that is challenging. Then they repeat until they get the goal. And then you can give them a new goal if they get the goal, if you want to do more repetition in class. That is Speed Unscramble, a P2 automate activity. And it works really well. It makes a big difference for student results. It's a very efficient use of class time, especially when we don't have our students for every single lesson. Most of the time, in a lot of situations, if that's your situation, you're lucky. But my name is Tom, and that is Speed Unscramble.